the island run on a day, every day. So there has been no worries as to how the whole system could be maintained. But of course we don't know the span of years that the different parts in the project could live. There was one more? Yeah.
Is there any consideration using a friction turbine to heat water?
No.
Wind driven?
No. It's not part of this project anyway. Yeah. Yeah.
But for the next project, we are talking about heating of water, and that is solar heating. And this is a project on the southwestern coast of Greenland in Umiak, which is the name, as Margrethe told before, of Moscow's ox, it means. And this solar heating system is, well, this is the biggest we have in Greenland at the time being. And it can heat up to 17 houses. That is, heat the water for consumption in 17 houses. And this is running in summertime, where we have daylight and sun 24 hours a day, more or less. And that is like from May to around September. But then during the winter, it's getting slightly darker, so it's not possible to run this one. But it's by now the populations is saying that it's saving 30% of fossil fuels that otherwise would have been used.
Well, these were some of the best cases that we've told about. Now we come to the different part: driving and transportation at sea, and air transportation as well. That's really difficult in the North Atlantic, and along all these coastal communities, very heavily dependent on having their cargo brought in by ship, and the products exported by ship as well, or by plane. And I'm sorry to say, at the moment there are no very good best cases of substituting fossil fuel with renewable energy in the shipping sector, in the navigating ship sector. There are a lot in the driving sector, but driving at land is not all that interesting when there are no road accesses in several of the countries. So, what do the Nordic countries do at the moment to do energy savings and make energy efficiency at the sea especially? Well, it's more or less the same, though the technique is a little different as with driving. One has to focus and accept that the societies will be multi-energy form societies. Everybody has to make a more efficient use of sources, whether they are fuels, biofuels, hydrogen, or fossil fuels. Reduce, recycle, reuse are keywords for that. More microgeneration of power for cars, for houses, for clothes and vessels. Different behavior. A lot of workshops talk about different behavior. We know about that in the West Nordic countries as well. Sailing management might be new to you as a key term for energy efficiency and energy savings in the navigating sector. Different planning, yeah, well, urban planning, yes, but also the infrastructure for bunkering ships is essential. Different way of life, different solutions, lots of small bits, a multi-energy form, small society, small island states are the future, or the perspective, it seems, is multiple energy forms.
What is bunkering?
Bunkering, that's when the ships go ashore and take on fossil fuel and water and food and things like that. But bunkering especially is the fuel the ship takes on board. Now, in my don't know how many to go. Well, here you see some examples of ships, cargo ships, or trawlers. And here you have a number of leisure boats. Over here, this is a big one, Aurora. And up here is Hansen and Paulsen and Sorensen and Jensen and Cookie McCullough from Ireland. They are all using fossil fuels. What do we do to reduce the use of fossil fuel? Yeah, we do energy savings, and you have heard a lot during the energy fair about hybrids, plug-in hybrids, electric cars, biofuels. There is no production of biofuels in the Nordic countries. West Nordic countries, that is. Diesel, petrol, and hydrogen. For the sailing, for the navigational sector, you have here 6 dots with suggestions for energy savings and energy efficiency on board the ships, energy management on board the ships. Yeah. And now, I have to admit that I was a bit too quick when I said that Greenland was solely dependent on fossil fuel, and Iceland on fossil fuel as well, because there are huge potentials of hydropower in Greenland. And the hydropower plants that are constructed, they work at peak during the winter, and then there's no electricity used during the summer. But there's a lot of excess electricity to be used. Yeah, you can see Iceland with the geothermal energy. Yeah.
Just to clarify that, they're working at peak in the winter because everyone needs electricity in the city that they serve.
Right. The heat consumption is the highest during the winter. But there's heat consumption throughout the year in Greenland and in Iceland mostly, and the Faroe Islands. So, is it possible to use this free and excess energy for energy in forms that can be stored or transported to other places? We know about hydrogen. It's quick and easy to fuel cars, trucks, small vessels, but we haven't heard about hydrogen being used in vessels. Batteries, yes, they are a bit slow for recharging. They have a limited range. It's a much easier cargo to transport, but neither of these opportunities are very well for the North Atlantic coastal zone. Now, here is a map for the future. These are some of the existing and upcoming bunkering locations where ships can go in and fuel